Hey everyone, welcome to the Live Magic Q&A Tea Party. I am your host, Madam Pamita, and today I have my special guest in-house. It's the fabulous Lord James Barker.
Oh.
Lord James Barker of the, what is your?
Royal Divine Hand.
No, it's your.
Oh, I forgot.
He's a lord of something. We don't know. He has to look it up. Anyway, we're here at the Northwest. We're going to explain what all that means. And we're going to explain why are we in a hotel room? Are we having an illicit affair? No, I don't think so.
Pierpont Archer.
Lord James Barker of Pierpont Archer is here with me. He is the owner of the Divine Hand. He's a palmist, an amazing palmist. I'm going to talk about palmistry.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the experience of getting a palm reading from you is like, because I've had a palm reading with him, and it was not what I thought it was going to be, and it was also really, really amazing. We're going to talk about palmistry, and we're going to talk about a little bit about Northwest Tarot Symposium, which is where we are right now, what we're doing right now. If you have questions about palmistry, this is your time, because it's a very rare occurrence, I think, that you get. I mean, I don't know any other palmists really, and it's a rare occurrence to get a palmist on a show, and you can ask questions about palmistry, palm reading, what's it like. If you had somebody tell you something weird about your palm, you can find out if it's true. At the end, do you want to do a little palm reading like we did last time with one person? We'll pick one person.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
So what emoji do you want, or emoji or word, and emoji/word do you want them to put in the chat if they're interested in being
the
picked?
unicorn emoji and sparkles.
And sparkles?
Yeah, unicorn emoji and the word sparkles.
Oh, so you either... It's
unicorn
confusing.
sparkles.
What if they type the word unicorn?
They can type unicorn sparkles.
Okay, so you can put either a unicorn emoji, a sparkle emoji, or the word unicorn, or the word sparkles. Any of those above will do. It will get you entered in.
Leslie knows unicorn sparkles.
Unicorn sparkles.
Unicorn
right. Sparkles.
Yes.
Then you can put that in the chat, and we will pick one person, and one lucky person at the end will get a free mini palm read, and you'll see what it's like.
You will all get a special, because I have a little special at the end, so everyone will get that.
Yeah, there's going to be a super special on getting a reading with Lord James Barker of Pierpont Archer and the Divine Hand. All right, so we have been having so much fun here. So first of all, let's tell them where are we?
Northwest Tarot Symposium. So just outside of Portland, Oregon, every year there is this fabulous event called the Northwest Tarot Symposium. And it's fantastic. It's a bunch of people who are super into reading cards. And it's not just tarot. There's also
Lenormand
people.
What?
I can't say that word.
Letterman. David Letterman.
David Letterman cards. Letterman. Lenormand. Those cards are really cool. So you can find anything out about reading cards here. And why the heck was a palm reader at the Northwest Tarot Symposium? Because
we did a workshop together that we've done before, which is the Palmistry Tarot Mashup. And the Palmistry Tarot Mashup, we had this crazy, our first meeting when we met, we discovered that the hands in the tarot actually reflect the meaning of the tarot card. So like if the person in the tarot card is going like this, that gesture, not just the pointing gesture, but which finger is up, which finger is holding what, how the hand is being held, actually has a meaning, and that meaning also reflects the meaning of the card. So he knew about palmistry, didn't know anything about tarot, and he's like, that gesture means blah, 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 blah. And I was like, but that's also what the card means. And we started looking at every single card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and discovering that it matched up. And we were like, crazy, this is crazy. Yeah. So then we sat down and we really worked it out and started talking about it. And we're like, oh my gosh, we need to show this and teach this to people. So for the past year and a half, we've been going around teaching this at PantheaCon, at different places. We're going to be presenting this at PaganaCon at the end of the month. We're going to be presenting this too. So it's like a phenomenal thing. So if you're going to be at PaganaCon in Minneapolis at the end of the month, please come to our workshop if you're interested in, even if you don't know anything. I mean, our class definitely is great if you know about tarot, you're going to learn something. But if you don't know anything about anything, you will still learn something because you'll learn about the palmistry part of it, no matter what you know.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It's so, so fascinating. So I want to also talk about, so Northwest Tarot Symposium is all these workshops and classes. There's a vendor's hall where there's super cool people selling their wares that are magical and all kinds of cool things there. So it's just really a fun time going to this event. And we went last year I taught my magical tarot packet class,
so fun.
where we take old tarot cards and we decorate them and tape them and sew them and put them together, and we put spells inside of them, and then you have a little spell packet, magic tarot spell packet. I did that class here last year and everyone loved that one. Came back this year. We've had an amazing time. And so we are here. Now I want to talk to them a little bit before we get into the questions. If you have questions, you can ask questions about anything, of course. But if you have questions about palmistry or palm reading, or someone told you about your palm, like those are the questions that would be super interesting for everyone, because we got someone here that can answer those. And I can't answer those questions. When you guys ask me about palm reading, I'm like, I don't know. So we've got Jim here. Jim can answer that. So,
she's pretty good at palmistry, though.
So first we have to tell them two things. There's a poll up because it's the Lead Magic Q&A tea party, but we have waters. And I am Team Spindrift, 100% Team Spindrift. I do not like La Croix, and I will explain to you why I don't like La Croix.
I love La Croix. It is
and you're pronouncing it the right.
It is so delicious.
Right.
I especially love this key lime flavor. I don't like Spindrift because it's like super diluted like juice. And it's, I don't know why it tastes weird to me.
He's wrong.
So we have a poll.
So cast your votes,
because
which is the best water.
It was the tea party, but today it's the
water
sparkle party. That's why I said sparkle, because it's sparkling
water. I get it. So okay, so let me tell you why I'm going to do one little pitch. We're going to do one pitch to explain why our water is the best. You can vote on the poll and tell us which one you agree with. But I'm going to do a little campaign. This is kind of like a presidential election. And I will tell you why Spindrift is the best. To me.
Oh my God, are they sponsoring this?
They should. I should get free water.
Sponsor your podcast.
The Live Magic Spindrift Party. Q&A Spindrift Party. Okay, this is why I don't like La Croix. Because I take this thing and I go, oh, it smells amazing. Oh my gosh, it smells like a beautiful piece of pie. And then I drink it and it tastes like water. It's so disappointing to me. And Jim goes, yeah, it's like somebody's eating key lime pie in the room next door. I go, I don't want to smell someone else eating key lime pie next door. I want to be eating the key lime pie. I don't want to smell someone else eating it and drink plain water. That feels like deprivation. That water tastes like deprivation.
Speaking of deprivation,
what?
I think I need another one.
Okay. You can be deprived all you want. Now, however, Spindrift tastes like the thing. The lemon tastes like someone squeezed a little lemon in your water, and it's delicious and refreshing. So that's my campaign. Do you want to give a little campaign?
No, I'm good. I think you were appropriately campaigning.
All right, so you guys vote for which is water. And
Can you do magic?
At the end, we'll...
Can you do magic with water?
Oh, totally.
What would you use this for magically? Seriously.
I wouldn't use that part of it.
What would you use Spindrift for magically?
Okay, look, lemon. Let's talk about magic water. This has real lemon in it, right? It's got real lemon in it. So it's got something, that's another thing. Who knows what that's like?
All right.
Okay, how do you use lemon water magically? You can hold the water and bless it like you bless tea, like you bless anything else. And what's lemon for? Cutting and clearing. I'm going to cut that negativity out of my life. I'm going to cut that person out of my life. I'm going to cut those cords. I'm going to cut that whatever I want to cut out of my life with your lemon water. So you can even do a spell with this water.
So if I
benefit.
If I had my own water, I could squeeze lemon in it and kind of do that cord cutting opening.
Sure, you could do any kind of clearing, any kind of cleansing work with the lemon.
I noticed that citrus tends to be in things like open roads or Blockbuster tend to have a lot of citrus. So if I put orange and lemon in my water, I could do that too, right?
Orange is a little different. Orange doesn't have the cutting of lemon. Orange is a little more sweetening.
Okay.
So you use orange in more love spells, like orange water, orange flower water.
Orange
use that in love spells. So orange
really
is a bit more commitment, a little sweeter. Lemon you know, you could also, I mean, you could use lemon to like sour something, but you wouldn't want to drink that kind of a spell. That wouldn't be something you want. But you can definitely use it for clearing, cutting, cleansing.
That's
and there's
awesome.
like cleansing water, cleansing myself inside and out with my real lemon water, not my fake scented.
Guess how many carbs this has? None.
Guess how many carbs this has? One. One. Come on, treat yourself to one carb, people. All right, so now we got to talk about
what
the
if I
other.
have LaCroix come out my nose? Okay.
We're talk about the other cookie thing. Was this weekend we were with my dear friend, former student of mine, who's now a professional. She knew nothing about tarot. She started studying tarot with me, and now she's a professional. She has a site, Tin Can Tarot. Holly
Awesome.
McLean.
Yes.
She's Tin Can Tarot. She's in Venice, California. She has this beautiful Bardo trailer that she does readings out of, and it's just beautiful, amazing, and phenomenal. Anyway, she's awesome. She was up here, and the other day we were at dinner, and she's like, I saw that you could get a lady title, like Lady Elaine Fairchild. I saw that you could get a lady title.
A landed title.
Yeah, for $50. And I'm like, oh, I was like thinking about that. I would think that would be a fun thing. I want to be baroness, a countess. Who would I be? And then I looked on Groupon. People, look on Groupon. You can get a lady or a lord title for $15. What does it get you? I don't know, a piece of paper? But that was, so I'm like, boom. Groupon bought lady. So now I'm Lady Pamela Moore of Cowell Glen. Lady Pamela Moore is my name. Lady Pamela Moore of Cowell Glen. Because I'm not going to use Lady Madam Pamita because that's just way too much stuff up front.
Lady Madam.
That's too much
Mistress.
stuff up front.
Lady Madam Mistress.
And then this one's like, well, you're going to do it? I'm going to do it.
You know why? Because I was carrying all her stuff, and I was like, yes, my lady. Can I zip you up, my lady? Would you let me help you with your necklace, my lady? And I'm like, this is bullshit. So I had to become a lord. So now I can lord over you.
I don't like that.
No.
Anyway, so that's what the Lord and Lady stuff. No, we want to let you in on all our dumb in jokes because we got a lot of
Kim
jokes.
says the money helps restore a castle. It does.
Yes, that's right. So in Dunnan's Castle, Dunnan's Castle is the one on Groupon, and Dunnan's Castle is the Scottish one. I've got Scottish heritage on my dad's side, Ukrainian heritage, Scottish and English on my dad's side, Ukrainian on my mom's side. I'm like, I want the Scottish one. It's helping restore that castle. So Kim is absolutely 100% correct. It is restoring that castle, Dunnan's Castle. These are beautiful historic things. So you're $20. It ends up being like $29 or something like that in the end. It's like
Totally worth it.
helping them out, and you get to go around saying, I'm a lady now. Lady. Or lord, or laird if you want to be.
She'll never stop. It's really. No.
It's annoying. It gets the joke.
I like it.
All right. So, so I want to talk a little bit about what it is like getting a palm reading from you, just for 2 minutes, and then we're going to get to the questions. So,
okay.
When I got my palm read, I knew Jim for a while before I got my palm read. When I actually sat down with a palm reading with him, it was amazing because it is not what you think it is, which is you go to the palm reader. And look at my henna that I got here.
Oh my gosh, wait, let's just stop. Turn to the light, come up close. Do you guys see the sparkle and the shimmer, the purple and the iridescence? That is some amazing henna.
Woo. So when you go for a palm reading with Jim, it's not like put your palm up there and he goes, you're gonna have 2 kids, your marriage is gonna fall apart, you're gonna be married 2 times, and that M means you're from Atlantis. He doesn't say any of that. He sits there and looks at it's a different kind of reading because it's not that fatalistic, this is what's going to happen to you, destiny kind of reading. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of 2 readings in one. The first part of it is saying what's going on in your life right now, because the way you present your hand to him is all I'm going to say. So that when you do it, you're not self-conscious. The way you present your hand to him shows him what's going on in your life right now. And then he looks at the characteristics on your palm and he says, oh, these are your strengths. These are where you're really good. These are the things where you need support, blah, blah, blah. And it's such an enlightening look at like all the potential of what you can do and be. If you have questions, I'm sure like if someone's had questions like, hey, I want to be a writer, look at my hand. Yep. You could tell them,
Here's what'll help you. Here's what could hold you back.
Yeah.
But here's how you use your superpowers to do that.
So it's like, it's not the kind of palm reading you think it is.
Right.
So we're going to do, if you just popped in, we're going to be doing a mini, he's going to be doing a super mini, 3-5 minute palm check-in with somebody. And if you'd like to be in the drawing, to be in that thing at the end, put unicorn, the word unicorn or sparkles, and or a unicorn emoji, and or a sparkle emoji.
The unicorn emoji and the word sparkle, or the words.
Or the words, whatever. Any of those above.
But you have to be willing to be on camera.
Oh,
so,
I don't know if I can. Oh, that's another thing. I think I can put them on
yeah,
camera.
so we have to be able to put them on camera.
We're on a different thing. I think we'll be able to do it.
All right, we're going to experiment.
All right, I think we're going to be able to do it. All right. All right, let's look at the chat. So if you guys are writing, if you guys just popped in, write your questions over in the chat, because the Q&A will pop over there a little bit, but the Q&A doesn't let me copy it. So if all the questions are over in the Q&A, it's a big pain in my butt when I try and put it over on YouTube. So, all right. Okay. All right, so Nina has a question that's about tarot, and I'm going to ask him this question because he doesn't know anything about tarot, but I think he knows more than he does. Let's see what he comes up with. So Nina says, what does the 9 of Pentacles represent, and what is the relevance of the snail? So the 9 of Pentacles is the one with the lady in the garden, the very elegant lady. She has a falcon on her hand, and then the vineyard is behind her with the 9 pentacles. So she's very rich, elegant lady, has her falcon, and on her feet is a snail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What would you think that snail means?
Wow.
What would it symbolize to you?
Okay, well, here's what I know about tarot so far. Pentacles are the element of earth, which is what is material, what is tangible, what you can experience with your 5 senses. 9, that is sort of like, if I think about a cycle from 1 to 10, that's like almost to the end of a cycle. So I would think about that as like, me personally would say that that's like waxing almost to its full fruition. The snail, it's like, can I get there faster? Are we almost there? I don't know. I guess I would feel like, or maybe have patience, grasshopper would be the symbol.
I like that.
I don't know.
I believe in that.
There's an interesting thing I remember that card as she's holding the falcon with her palm, her hand gesture is really sort of, there's some introspection. I think it's time to stop, reflect, go slower, sort of like taste a grape, smell the roses. The falconer can see, and maybe you can reflect on what you've seen and what you've, done so far
very astute.
before you go to the next final stage.
I think that's very astute. I like that. So when we look at a card just generically, usually we look at a card when in tune with a question. Like someone asks a question, and then you may home in on one or another symbol. So I don't always look at that snail when I'm doing a reading. It sometimes pops out at me in a reading, and sometimes it doesn't. But let's say someone had a question about timing. There might be a slowness to the timing, or take your time, or an impatience. And that you had a very astute observation. That falcon kind of represents like a bird's eye view, or taking a higher spiritual view of the situation. Slow down, stop and smell the roses, stop and eat a grape. I think that's a great astute. You're a tarot reader. I was right.
I don't know.
Tarot reader.
I guess hanging out with you, I end up being a lot more familiar.
Yeah, you're in there with tarot symposium. You can't escape it.
It's by osmosis. I just put the deck under the pillow, and as I sleep.
Sleep learning. I'm getting dream learning all the time, so.
I know, this is cool.
Whatever with you. All right, so Susan has a great palm reading question.
Oh, yay,
So Susan says, I had a palm reading, and the woman said I have a broken headline. Broken headline? Watch out for flying bottles. But it joins back, and she was stumped by what it meant.
Yeah, that's a great question. So,
it's just the headline. Show them.
So yeah, well, let me first talk about lines that, I don't know. All right, the headline. So this is your heart line, which is up at the top underneath your fingers. In the middle is your headline. The line that goes around your thumb is your lifeline. So the headline represents how you process information, how you think. And there are different ways the headline shows up on the hand, whether it's like mine, connected to your lifeline or separate from your lifeline. How far it goes across the hand. Is it straight? Is it curved? Where does it terminate on the palm itself? All those things are things we read about the headline. When a line is broken, that simply reveals a pattern. Like, so what I would say is a broken headline, broken sounds terrible. It's actually just a pattern of you have an idea, you come up with a solution, and then after you make a decision intellectually, you're someone who's always thinking about that decision you made, and you have a second life of thought, a second opportunity to think about, we decided to have Vietnamese for dinner, for lunch yesterday. I wonder what we should have today. Like, you could even just be as simple as that. You could say, gosh, I bought that, one type of car, and now I'm having second thoughts about it. Second thoughts don't have to be negative. They can just be reflective, introspective, and, gosh, you know what? After thinking about it for a second time, absolutely, that was the right decision. Or I thought about it, and I actually have an opportunity to change my decision. Most people don't have a broken headline and just make a decision and live with it. And I love when people have that dual headline, that sort of headline one and then a second headline, and they're able to rethink decisions and think about things again. The challenge for people with a broken headline is rumination. So you can sit there and overthink something that is already done and gone, and be able to let go and move on to something else, or apply that efforts towards a positive outcome.
That's amazing.
Makes sense?
Totally makes sense.
And that's a lot more positive than what why a lot of people are stumped by that is because they're afraid that it's something terribly negative, like you have a brain tumor, or you have a broken head, or who knows what. So that's, there's never anything negative in any part of your palm. Your palms don't have anything negative. They just show patterns on how we are.
Yeah, there you go. You can think about things.
And then again.
Yeah, you think about it. Yeah. Thoughtful person. We have people putting unicorn sparkles and fairies. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
We will accept that as an entry into getting the mini palm read. Amy says hi. Leslie says, when are y'all coming to Los Angeles?
When are you going to be in Los Angeles?
Monday afternoon. I live in Los Angeles, so when are you all coming to Los Angeles?
So I'll be in LA in May is what the plan is. So if you'd like to have a palm reading from me while I'm in Los Angeles, and there for like a week, probably 2 weekends on either end, and you can contact me on my website, thedivinehand.com. Send me an email, and I'd be happy to book a session with you. But I don't have to be in your city to get a session, because we do sessions via Zoom, and they work really well in combination with some photos. And it'll blow your mind.
So he can do it in person. It's lovely to be with you in person. Yeah. It's extra special.
I know.
In person.
Even though I'm drinking
even though he doesn't know anything about water.
All
right. KRI says, for palm reading, is it more for telling your future, or more of who you are as a person, or what you will be, how you will be experiencing based on that analysis? Like, what is a palm reading about? I kind of said, I think you probably wrote that before I gave the description, but it's worth saying.
Great. That's a great question. Yeah. So most people think that a palm reading is going to predict the future, and people are often worried that it might predict something that is unchangeable, because a lot of people believe or experience that the hand doesn't change. That is not true. The hand changes all the time. If you move from being at an office job and start doing something physical, like you go from an office job to be construction, your hands will totally change. The musculoskeletal connections, the muscles will build, the skin on the hand will become more calloused, and it will change. If you start playing guitar, for instance, the muscles will change. It'll change the line. So all those things change. So a palm reading doesn't predict anything that is set in stone. And foretelling the future, well, I actually ascribe to fortune telling in a very similar way as Pamita. Yes, it does tell you a likely future that you would have if you continue along your path, or a likely future based on the features of your hand, right? So Pam said, we were talking about this last night, and Pamita said, you know, if you're doing this thing and you keep doing it, I'll tell you what's going to happen, right? You're going to have this consequence. It's not a brain science. So, but you can see that spiritually. So for us that have practice, and for all of you who've done practice and really working on your psychic abilities and your intuition and your foresight, you'll see a likely outcome for people based on the things that they've been doing or are doing. And then the opportunity is you can intervene as a reader, as a psychic, as a spiritual worker, and you can say, hey, a little yellow flag on the field, maybe you could consider changing what you're doing, changing that pattern in order to change your future.
Yeah.
But it isn't like it's set in stone. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh,
nothing's set in stone.
right.
But you know, like, let's say, for example, you see somebody that practices piano every day and they're really passionate about it and they really do that. You can have that quote unquote prediction that they're going to be a good piano player because you see how they're doing it and you see the consistency of it. So that's a very simplistic kind of prediction. I mean, anybody can do that prediction, right? But we also see those subtle patterns of people, you know, doing things like maybe they are, I'm trying to think of a positive version of that, but like maybe let's say, I'll go on my negative one. Let's say they're super pessimistic and they're super down on like, I'll never get out of this job. Well, if they keep saying, I'm never going to get out of this job, you know.
Yeah, you all know what the future of that person is.
Yeah, then that is kind of predicting their own future, you know, and you can see those even subtler things like that in that reading. And he can see that when he looks at a palm,
right.
Can kind of see a tendency, you know, a tendency toward maybe you have to have more get up and go, or maybe you need to calm it down a little bit or something like that. That's right. Where there's things that you can work with to kind of make your best life. So it's very similar to what I do in a tarot reading.
And so the second part of your question, what will they experience based on that analysis? You get clarity, a palm reading, but also a tarot reading from Pamita. A reading that's good will leave you with inspiration, clarity, direction, an idea of where to go. It'll give you something. A lot of people come to us when they're a little bit like, I don't know what to do. And we can help help you guide yourself towards answers that really align better with what your desires are. That's what inspires, I think we talked about this earlier today too, what inspires us the most about it. So
yeah, perfect. Alrighty, so Leslie says that they're team pink drinks at Starbucks. Ooh. No water. Why
there's
drink
no
water?
calories,
Water's
there's no carbs in that. You can totally drink it.
What's a pink drink? I don't even know
I don't
what it is. Oh. Kim asked the same
I think
question.
she's saying there's the pink spindrift at Starbucks.
Oh, maybe. Kim says, do the lines in your palm of your hand change over time? We answered that. Amy says, I wish moon spring water was an option. I know, I should have done that, but I was doing really on the fly. That's a good one. If we ever do a water poll again, I'm going to make sure to add that one.
For Tin Can Tarot. She wants Tin Can Tarot's information. Yeah. Okay,
Leslie wants to know Tin Can Tarot's information. You can go on Instagram to Tin Can Tarot. So it's TINCANTAROT, Tin Can Tarot on Instagram. I'm going to put it down there. It's all one word. And you can find her. Now, she does her readings in person. I think she does readings also remotely, but she does readings in person in Venice on Abbot Kinney mostly. Sometimes I think she's on Rose Avenue, but I think she's mostly in Abbot Kinney. But it's like a food truck. She's mobile. So you have to kind of follow her to see where she's going to be and when she's going to be. Or you can set up an appointment with her ahead of time. But if you go to Tin Can Tarot, you can, on Instagram, you can find her there.
Yeah.
I think she also has a website, tincantarot.com.
And most weekends she's in Venice. It's so cute. Walk around Venice, get your tarot reading from someone who's super awesome.
Okay. Jasmine has a question that's a personal question about candle reading. Return to me vigil candle with you. If you send a message, if you have a communication about a candle, send it to Marlene. It's MARLENE. I'll type it in. Marlene at parlorofwonders.com. Oops. And she will track it down, because sometimes we send them and you guys, it goes to your spam filter or something like that. We will follow up with you. But Marlena is my assistant on candle spells, so we can find out what happened to your report and why, if it, maybe the candle just finished and it's in the next round of reports. Sometimes the reports take a little while. Sometimes the candles take a little while. So if you want to find out what happened to your candle and your candle report, Marlene's the one to contact. Okay. All right. Oops, that was moved down ahead. All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, Mademoiselle Lina's here. She's here. Love you guys. Brandy's here. Unicorn Sparkle. Amy says, what are your thoughts on the pick a card readings? Do you think they're relevant?
What is a pick a card reading?
I'll explain a pick a card reading. Some of you might not know what Amy is talking about. So on Instagram, you're going to know what I'm talking about when I tell you. There'll be people like, pick A, B, or C card. Pick the card under the blue stone, the clear stone, or the pink stone. Pick a card and it will tell you reading. I look at those as something very fun to do. I look at those as something really enjoyable. It's like playing with tarot. You learn something. I think there may be a message in those for you, but I wouldn't put like a deep, serious question on those. Same thing with online tarot things, tarot.com, for example. They have a free online reading. You can do a free online reading. Great, you're gonna learn about tarot. If you wanna have fun with your friends, you can fool around with those things. But those things, maybe they'll have a message for you, but there's a part of all of these things that is missing, which is intuition, intuitive guidance, and direct guidance for you, right? It's kind of like a horoscope. A horoscope is meant for everybody in the sign, 1/12 of the population. Is a horoscope in a newspaper the same thing as going to an astrologer and getting your chart done and getting a progress chart and finding out what is ahead?
Sorry, I'm giving away the answers.
Shh, you're not supposed to tell them. So it's not the same thing. I look at those things as very enjoyable ways to dip into the magical world. I love those things. I love to pick a card. I always pick a card. I always see what they have to say, but I don't look at them as a guidance tool. And I don't even look at horoscopes as a guidance tool. I look at it for fun. It gets me to think about what's going on in the world. Maybe there's something astrologically going around, and how does it affect people that are born under my sign? Well, that's great. But I don't put like my heart and soul and change my life based on what I see in a general horoscope or pick a card reading or a computerized card reading on tarot.com or one of these places that has a computer doing it. Why? Because there is no intuition in it. There's no intuition involved. There can't be intuition involved.
Besides your own.
Besides your own. If you're a reader, you can start to interpret that card. But I'm saying, like, if you get the 9 of Pentacles was brought up, if you get the 9 of Pentacles and it says, it's your lucky day, you're going to be rich today, I don't think that...
I don't know if I'm ready.
I don't know if you're ready to be rich.
I'm ready.
You're Lord James
I'm
Barker.
Lord James Barker. I'm ready to be rich.
So when we see those pick a card things, it's meant to be a really fun thing. And it might give you some insight. And most definitely, it will teach you something about that card. It will teach you a take on that card, or you'll get some more information, or you might learn something. Hey, I never saw that snail in the 9 of Pentacles. And we talk about the snail in the reading. But the important component that's missing from all of those things is intuition, because the intuition can only happen when there's a person involved, because there's no robot, there's no computer that has intuition that I have ever heard of. They don't. It doesn't exist. It's a part of us. It's like a soul thing. It's a human thing. It's a soul thing. So when you get a reading with a real person on a topic, they're delivering, and a good person, I mean, not everybody is a great reader, and not everybody is even tapped into that intuition, but when you're getting guidance, either divine guidance or spiritual guidance, or someone's talking to your spirit guides, or they're getting an intuitive hit or whatever, they're pulling in information and transmitting that to you. We actually kind of a little bit talked about this when we were talking about the 9 of Pentacles, because when we were talking about the 9 of Pentacles, we were looking at this card in a general way. But when someone asks a question, different things may come through and have information for someone about what that card means. That card has a broad meaning. And so we can say, yeah, generally it means this, but let's say,
what does it mean for you? That's such a different question.
Exactly. So in a reading with someone, I may somehow see that the grapes on the vine are being the dominant image or the dominant symbol, and I may be getting guidance on what that means for that person. It means abundance, or it means issues with food, or I don't know, whatever. But there's a human quality that a computer, a robot, any of that stuff can't do. Now, when you get the pick a card thing on Instagram, yes, there is a real person behind that. And they're giving some lovely guidance in general about that can maybe connect with you. Maybe it does give a helpful sign to you, or something that's lovely and beautiful for you. And maybe it doesn't. Because honestly, they're giving a general reading. They're not giving a reading for you. They're not doing it for you. There's no connection between you and that other person, really. But I think they're really fun, and I think they're really lovely, and I think they're really educational. And as a reader, I kind of go like, well, I know what that card means, and so I'm going to take this aspect. So I kind of almost do my own reading about it. When you do a pick a card, here's a fun thing to do. When you do a pick a card on Instagram, look at what the person has to say. Page of Swords. You have a great new idea. You're going to start a new endeavor. Jump in. Don't think too much about it and do it. Maybe that's what the thing that they say. Now, Page of Swords, you can go look in books. And if you have books about tarot, if you have my book about tarot, you have things online, you can look in books to see what other people have to say about that card. Learn about that card. It's an opportunity for you to get some information, and maybe you get some information from a book over here that actually makes more sense than what the person was saying. So I don't think it's completely hogwash. None of it is hogwash, but it isn't a reading. It is not, you don't get any misconceptions that that's a reading particularly for you. And you need to either do the reading yourself, which is like, oh, I picked the Page of Swords. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to do some more research. Or I know about that card and what it means and how I connect to it. Or go, gosh, that was really fun. That's a fun idea to think about. Oh, I learned something about that card. Yeah. All of those are good. So hopefully that answered your question. Brandy has a question about palm reading. Can you tell any illnesses via palm reading? Arthritis, for example.
So I can't predict whether someone will have. So there's two sides to this question that I'm hearing, or I could interpret it in two ways. I can't predict if someone would necessarily have an illness from their hand. It isn't like, oh, you have the arthritis line or the marking of people with arthritis. However, many people come to me and they do have arthritis in their hands. That means something, and I can talk about the metaphysical side of a physical ailment on the hand, right? So if you have arthritis in one of your fingers, one of your knuckles, or in all of them, we can talk about where that shows up and what it means. The arthritis has a metaphysical meaning. The location of it on your fingers has a metaphysical meaning. Now, it isn't the medical treatment of it, but it is the metaphysical side of what you could do to help alleviate it, or whatever the things it's related to. So those are things that people find enormously helpful. In fact, any injury to your hand can be interpreted through palmistry. So I just cut the end of my finger here. I was picking at it and I have a little scab. So that is my index finger on my left hand. This relates to a chakra point. This finger has a really important meaning on the hand. It's a planetary meaning and an archetypal meaning. That it's on my left hand has a meaning. So these are things that we can interpret and give you a reflection on what that might mean. People always come to me on Instagram and give me little pictures of, oh, I cut my palm while I was, slicing tomatoes. What does it mean, Jim? And that's an easy thing to say. Here's what that means. So those are fun readings.
And by the way, your Instagram is Divine Hand Jim. So if you want to follow Jim on Instagram, he has a super fun, cute Instagram account. It's Divine Hand Jim. also too, I was thinking about something, about medical stuff. I'm not a medical intuitive. I know Jim isn't a medical intuitive. We are not diagnosticians, but we can speak to spiritual support for physical ailments.
Yes.
So nothing I say or nothing Jim says is going to be like, do this spiritual thing and it's going to resolve your health issue. Never, 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 ever are we going to say that. That's not how it works. That's not even how healing spells work. I did if you want to know about healing and physical healing and health, I did a blog post. If you look on my blog post, and I actually did a podcast that's coming up. I don't think it's out yet, about healing magic. So, but you can see the blog post now. The blog post is up under instruction. Go to Magic Blog. You can see my blog post about what it means to do a healing spell. It does not mean light a candle and your arthritis is going to go away. It means light a candle, and then in your experiences in life, you will come across the information that will help you, the healthcare providers that will help you, the modalities that will help you, the lifestyle changes that will help you. So all of these physical, real world things that spirit will support. So I don't know that if in your readings about health stuff, if you look in the hand, do you ever get like things like, oh, this is a direction that you should go, or?
Yeah, so I can absolutely, if someone has arthritis in a particular hand or finger, I mean, if someone has rheumatoid arthritis, it's systemic, but if someone has arthritis in one of their fingers or in one of their knuckles, we can talk about what that means and what you can do to, from a spiritual perspective, to alleviate that and to support that spiritually.
Yeah, support. I think spiritual support is what we're talking about. It's like our lives are not compartmentalized. We have physical bodies, but spiritual things, emotional things, mental things that we do affect our physical body. And so there can be things that you can do spiritually to help with physical ailments, but they don't replace, never, 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 ever do they replace getting some real world, material world help, because is a physical body. Yeah. This is a physical body you're in. You need to get something in the real world.
We say work the earth plane.
Yeah, earth plane.
You can have your spiritual, but you also pray and go to the doctor.
Yeah. Amy has a question. Is it true there are specific signs of a natural witch in the palm?
That's so cute.
I want that one.
Oh, well.
Do I have it?
No. Just kidding.
I had to work to be a witch. It wasn't a natural witch. I had to work
You had to learn it?
I had to learn it.
I have never, so a natural witch. I think that people sometimes have natural abilities, spiritual abilities that just come easily. I think everyone has spiritual gifts. They're just different, or they're things to discover. A palm reading can reveal what your gifts are spiritually. And I often am identifying that with people. Sometimes if you have a little pentacle, and I have way back, I have an Instagram post on a pentacle in a particular spot on your hand, wherever it is, talks about where your gifts might be. But there's so many signs on the hand that refer to your spiritual gifts and your spiritual calling. So there's nothing, I don't know if I even believe in a natural witch, but I think that people have natural abilities. They're better at some things than others. Some people are just naturally gifted singers. Some people are naturally gifted with music. So I think that there are some things that people are naturally good at. Witchcraft encompasses a huge number of things in a broad word. So it's hard for me to, that's why I have an issue. I don't have an issue with the natural part. I have an issue with like, oh, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, so, it could be anything. You could be animal communicator, you could be tarot reader.
Medical intuitive, like we were just talking about.
Yeah,
you could be a lot of
there's
things.
A lot of places where I would put under that umbrella of witchcraft, and there's a lot of things that I'm not. I like them. I love them. I wish I were them, but I'm not that.
I go to other people for things that I'm not good at.
Yeah, for sure. Like, do not ask me about really deep levels of astrology, because I'm only a basic astrologer. I know a little bit about it. I know enough about astrology to get into trouble. That's about it. No, I know enough about astrology to get by, but like progressed charts and all that stuff, I can't. That's not me. it's too mathy for me.
The
It's
progression of a north node in my fifth house. You don't
I
understand
don't
that?
understand that at all. It's all math. It sounds like you're talking about a calculus problem.
I don't know it either.
But I know the planets, and I know the signs of the, I know the zodiac signs and all that stuff. So I know enough to, whatever. But there's definitely, it's like all of those things I think are, you have people that are, ceremonial magicians that love to memorize incantations. That ain't me either. You have people, but that doesn't mean I don't respect it, and it doesn't mean that I think it's wrong or bad or doesn't work. I think it's absolutely another path that totally works, and it works for you if you're that person. I'm more of like the natural kitchen witch. Which three witches am I? Which three witches?
What was it? Lady Lane Fairchild.
Totally Lady Lane Fairchild.
Is your number
boomerang,
one?
Sumerang. That's me,
That's
number
the
one,
real one.
all the time. And then
it was the one aunt from Practical Magic.
Diane Weist's character in Practical Magic, the aunt who's taking care of everybody and making midnight margaritas. And the third witch was Glinda.
Glinda the Good.
Because she's, first of all, because you know what? My hashtag life goal is to fly around in a pink bubble. As a mode of transportation. The best mode of transportation, pink bubble.
Brum shmum, you want a pink bubble.
Pink bubble. She's awesome. Plus, she also has other people do her dirty work for her. Let's not forget that. Jim, I want you to kill the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
get her broom.
Yes, lady. Yes, Lady Pamela.
All right, let's look at another question. My question is a little, well, Jim knows a lot about magic. This is the other part of Jim that we just talked about, palmistry.
Magic.
But Sylvan Grove.
A Sylvan tradition is the tradition, but our coven is Spectrum Grove.
Spectrum Grove. Sorry. And so
I teach witchcraft. I teach energy work, meditation, grounding.
So all that. So
all
he
that
can
stuff.
answer that too. But we were focusing on the palmistry.
Real live witch.
Real live witch. Were you a natural witch?
Or
artificial witch?
I was definitely artificially flavored witch.
You smell like key lime pie, but you don't taste like key lime pie.
You smell like a witch is in the other room.
Oh my God. I want a witch in my room. I don't want a witch in the other room.
That's why you drink Spindrift and
Yes.
I drink LaCroix.
That's exactly right. We're going to see who wins. I think you're going to win. You're with the hip kids. What can I say? All right. It's a little off topic, tarot topic. It's actually about magic in general. Is it true that nothing is given without something being taken? Is there an exchange that we must do in magic in the universe? If so, what can we offer? What is your opinion about? I have an opinion about that, but
that's a fabulous question. I think that
this is Lord Jean. So, by the way,
Lord Jean, thank you. There's a lot of different traditions that talk about this and have different opinions on this, and this is the source of many witch arguments, right? I generally think that anything that I want in life, I have to work for or do something for. It doesn't have to be my internal negative voice that has me do a tremendous suffering or sacrifice, although people can do that. It can work. But I think you got to have some sort of energetic attachment to what you're doing for it to work. And if I was teaching, if you were my student, I would say nothing given without something being taken. I don't see that as a victim thing. I see that as how are you willing to invest in the work, and how does that show up, right? So are you willing to invest with your own effort, create your own candle magic spell? If not, are you willing to invest the $350 for someone else to do your candle magic spell? Are you willing to invest in the knowledge and education to actually do something, be good at something? Or do you want someone else to do it for you? These are the things that are there. So it's just more of a practical truth of life and less of a sort of omnipotent something will be taken from you if you don't sacrifice your whatever.
Yeah, I think I agree. I have the I think that the terminology and the whoever told this to you is a little loaded, because taken implies stolen from you, unwillingly given, and so on. And I think what really, if we dig down deeper, what the original concept behind it is that there ain't nothing such thing as a free lunch. So you either are investing your time, or you're investing your money, or you're investing your energy. You and I don't know where this concept of like something is going to be taken from you. It's not taken. It's like you have to put in what you get out of it, what you put into
That's
it.
A better saying.
Yeah, it's a way of
witchcraft.
saying it. Yeah, exactly. So like if you want to have that, I don't know, whatever you want to have that.
Well, like self-love. I did a self-love spell, right? And that self-love spell was fabulous that Pamita did for me. And I had to do work on it. Pamita gave me a gift of a love spell, and I had to invest energy and believe in it and do the work, do the real work to love myself, manage my negative self-talk, to really get into the space. Like, that's an important thing that I had to do. Could I have done nothing? Sure. And it would have just been...
You would have gotten nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the better understanding of that. It's like if you put nothing into it, you get nothing out of it. Now, when I, because I'm a new thought spiritualist, I think of the concept of the wheel. I mean, I have this whole thing. I found out Jackie Smith, who was on my show before. She's the witch behind Coventry Creations. She has the same concept, which you have this wheel of the 4 elements whenever you're creating something. If you want to manifest something, you really have to go through the wheel. So if we think of the wheel, you teach it too. So, okay, so it's everybody's got this idea. It was one of those ideas like, I have a brilliant idea, and then I discovered everyone else had the same
I didn't know it from Jackie Smith, but I didn't put it in this term, but this is what we talk about. Like, you got to work the earth plane. You got to work your mind. You got to work that's how we teach it, right? You got to incorporate the 4 elements into what you're doing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So what I look at it as actually the wheel of manifestation. So in Wiccan witchcraft, which I was a practicing Wiccan in the 90s, but not a practicing Wiccan now.
It was cool in the 90s.
It's not cool. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking, guys. I moved to a different, more solitary path, and I love Wicca. So, but I'm not professing to be a Wiccan. But I know in the Wiccan tradition, you do a casting of a circle, right? So when you cast a circle, and I learned so much about magic from this. You cast a circle, you start in the east. In our tradition, we started in the east, we went to the south, we went to the west, we went to the north, and then we completed the circle. That's what we did, Dianic Wicca, All right. So then I had this kind of 4 elements wheel concept in my head. And the idea that you would start in the east, which is the thought, the idea, the mentality, and then you move it into fire, which is action. Then you move it into cups, which, my opinion, I'm like, how does that water, the cups, water element, west element, fit in with all of this? I'm like, for me, connecting with divine energy, spiritual, bringing something spiritual in. And then you get the manifestation. So you kind of need to go around all 3 of those corners to get, those 3 first corners to get to the 4th one, which is the earth, the north, and the manifestation. So first is the idea. Second is the get up and go. Yeah. Then you also invite spirit to help and assist with this in whatever way you want, whether it's your inner guidance or whether it's a divinity, a divine energy, your spirit guides, your deities or whatever. And then the manifestation can be, that's like all the ingredients you need, right? So my point of this was, that invites you, all things, you have to start with the idea, and you can have great ideas, but you do have to make an investment of something. Even an idea is kind of an investment that you're putting energy in. And I think changing your mindset is a huge investment. Like you said, that's what made me think of this.
I've taken my negative self-talk away.
Yeah, so all that mental stuff can be an investment. Like in your case, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go out and do something, but it can be the changing of your mind. You're putting a great effort on managing what you're allowing to think, or changing your mind about some belief that you have can require great mental effort. So
one of the things I did was I anointed myself with magnetic attraction oil, which feels like self-love to me. And that was a really great, with your oil. And that was a really great sort of way to also say, oh, right, self-love at this time, right?
So good. Well, I think we're ready to do a palm reading.
Okay.
I hope we can bring you on the camera. I hope that we can do it. So I want you to pick a number. Don't look. Between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You pick 6?
Yeah.
That's Kim. All
Kim.
right. All right, Kim.
Let's see if we can get her on.
Let's see if I can do Kim on. All right, Kim, are you still here? First we see, there she is. Allowed to talk more. Promote to panelist. Okay, I can do it. You're gonna be a panelist, Kim. It works. Kim, are you there? You're gonna rejoin the meeting as a panel. I hope she has a camera.
She might not.
Oh, there she is. Kim, we need to be able to see your hand. She's like, oh crap, I didn't know.
Is your speaker on?
Let's see if your speaker is on. Let's see, Kim. Okay, Kim. Let's see. I'm gonna unmute you, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, do you have a video way we can see you on video?
I'm looking. Let me see.
Can we try to unmute your camera?
No, it won't work. She has to unmute her own camera.
Do I
So
just
down,
do like,
so down below us, you should see
Right there.
something that says start video or something like that. It should have a little camera shape. Start video.
I'm looking.
Okay. Press around on your, are you on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, so on your phone, there might be in
Tap
the upper
once and it
corner,
should show up.
like in the different corners, there's something that says like, maybe it'll say like participants or something like that. Press those things that you see. You can't screw it up because it'll just, you can come back on again if it messes up. Oh, there, it's working.
Yes, hi.
All right, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
You made it work.
Yay,
All right.
thank you. I'm so excited.
All right, so Jim will tell you what to do.
Okay, great. So do you want me to look, I can look at one thing on your hand and give everyone an example of what I do during a video palm reading. Do you want me to talk more about stuff that's going on in the world, like work and out in the public eye, or stuff going on with you personally in your personal life and stuff that's more close to your heart?
I'll leave it to you. You're the intuitive.
I need you to pick.
Oh. Something going on in my personal life.
Personal life, okay. So if you would just hold up your left hand to the camera, I need to see the whole hand. So pull back. Yes, yes. A little further back, please.
You want me to take off my ring?
No, you're perfect. A little further back. Okay, great. This is awesome. So thanks, Kim. So looking at your hand, these are fire hands. You have nice long palm and shorter fingers, and your thumb is slightly bent. So if you see that your thumb is just slightly bent like this, right? So you can relax now. We can see your beautiful face. So the two things that I see on your hand is as follows. Fire-handed people are often referred to in fiery ways. She's got spunk, she's got spitfire, she's a little, she's got some energy to her. She can be passionate about things. Fire-handed people are about transformation and change, and often bring that transformation and change to situations that they're in. So in your personal life, there's this sort of like you as a change agent, you as someone who gets bored easily, who wants to change it up, like, come on, let's do something different. That type of person is very, very common for people with fire hands. There's a situation in your personal life that is keeping you from taking the actions you want to take. So what I'm seeing in your hand is your thumb is out, you're able to take action, but there's an external force, an external situation, something that happened that's whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, have you played whack-a-mole? Kind of, you got a little bit of the whack-a-mole going on where it's like, no, Kim, you can't take that action right now. It's a temporary situation, but that's something that's going on at the moment. So does that make sense to you?
It does.
So what I just did was read simply the gesture, the unconscious gesture of your hand, and the shape of your hand. So just in a few minutes, I can do that for anybody, and it's really fun and hopefully inspiring. It really sees you and like validates you that, you're not alone. So if you want to break through that thing that's holding you down, notice your thumb like this, and then straighten that puppy out. Hold that thumb out. And, you know, in a
Okay.
relaxed way, hold that thumb out.
Yeah.
Now watch your mouth, because you might be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or, you know what I mean? It's awesome. It'll give you a little gumption. You want to make sure that you're ready to do that, but you'll take action anyway and break through whatever's holding you down.
I love that.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
Thank
Except
you
for
for playing with us.
Thank you for.
What was that?
I said a little bit more gumption might scare some people. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, watch out.
Kim's
Thank you so much.
You're
Kim's
welcome.
friends are going to be like, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks for being here.
I'm gonna turn you back into a attendee. Thank you so much, Kim.
Bye, Kim.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. That was super fun. Now we have an
I have a special
important thing. Yeah. So when they have a reading with you, they're gonna get that thing with the fire. They're gonna definitely get the thing with the gesture.
But also the lines.
I say fire. What element your hand is?
Your hand element, what your gesture's doing. We also get into the lines, and so we read the lines on the hand. We can talk about any issues I might have. If you a full hour reading is really the best thing to do, because you really get that full experience. I even coach people. I do a coaching program where I'm looking at how people are gesturing as I'm coaching them and seeing what their unconscious motivations are that they're not seeing.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But
and I think also too, when you have a one-on-one with you, I think not in the public, not like on a screen where it's going to be, you know, seen by everybody, but people probably also are able to open up more, share about what's going on in life, and really have a dialogue with you. I've seen him with other people.
We get really deep. It's awesome.
Yeah. When we were in Idaho doing Boise, Idaho, we were doing meetings next to each other, and you know, people would really, really open up to Jim, and it was lovely.
It's
so
fun.
So anyway, what's your special?
So I have a special. You guys can try out Palmistry. My readings are normally $200 for an hour with me in person. I have a normal online rate of $150 for the hour.
For the hour?
For the hour, yep. What I'm offering everyone here is, if you see this, even if you see it online, you can book a reading, a half an hour reading, or a special price of only $50. So you can get a half an hour, we get to a lot of things. We can cover 1 or 2 major questions, but you'll get an overview of your hand. You'll get the recording of our Zoom session or the audio recording you can Bluetooth or listen to later. It's awesome. People really love it. So it's only $50. It's amazing. How do you book this? You have to go to thedivinehand.com/special, and that's how you can book it. It's just 1 half an hour per person, and you can experience what a palm reading is like from me, and check it out.
Could they do one for themselves and one for their loved one?
Sure.
Oh, love it. I love it. I think you're going to get a lot out of the half. I mean, an hour is amazing because you're really going to get a lot. But even in the half hour, they could get a lot of tools that they could take home and work on, and then maybe see you again for a bigger session too. That's the one other thing about a session with you. It's not like a one-time thing where you get it once and you get all the information. You can actually go back and see other things and how
work on things. Your hand changes all the time. Your gesture changes based on what's going on in the world. So it's super fun.
It's so great. All right, let's look at our poll before we go. Tap water.
Okay, look how low Spindrift is. So do you guys, I don't know,
you know
did they
why?
see the poll?
Because I'm fancy.
Did they see
I
that?
don't know if they saw the poll or not. Anyway,
so let me tell you what the poll.
24 people voted, so everybody voted.
So LaCroix, so tap water is at number 1 with 11. Coming in second is your friend, LaCroix, with 8 votes. Only 3 people voted that Spindrift was better.
We are an exclusive club, the Spindrift lovers.
Because you all know
we have excellent taste.
Spindrift tastes like watered down juice. Who drinks water?
Gosh.
Thank you to my alcoholic friends who drinks water. Or coffee drinkers. I'm sure you're coffee.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for playing. You know, Jim and I always have a great share results. I guess we can share it with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Tap water won. I don't know. You can.
Where are you drinking tap water? You're not drinking tap water in LA.
No, it's terrible. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week. Oh boy, I don't even know. See, I'm very unprepared. Next week,
and you're doing some things. You want to announce the things you're doing coming up?
They know what I'm doing.
Okay,
I talk about it all the time. I have a new, there's a new podcast episode up. There is a new podcast episode on YouTube. It's up on Spotify, all of those places. It's Magic and the Law of Attraction. You can find it there. They're also, we are going to be, tell them where we're going to be.
At Paganacon. Paganacon. Oh, what's so funny about that? They called it Pagan Icon in the newspaper. It was really funny, but it's Paganacon. It is spelled Pagan Icon. Anyway, that's in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And that's coming up on dates that I'm not exactly sure, but in a few weeks.
I know when it is. It's
When
going
is
to
it?
be the 21st, 22nd, 20th, 21st, and 22nd of March.
Of March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will be there. Oh my gosh. You know who's going to be my guest next week? Dr. Samuel Ness.
Oh, Sam is amazing.
You saw his I guess work partner / mom with Dr. Lisa Martinez, the curandera, who came and spoke with us. Dr. Samuel is also an amazing curandero and also has he's shamanic. He's totally shamanic work. So it's just some very, very deep stuff that we're going to be doing.
Be here next week.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's really going to be deep. I mean, this is your goofy session next week.
Yeah.
I'm super amazing.
You'll have real
Lovely.
people next time.
Instead of goofy witches. See, witches can be always serious and goofy, all
And
right?
sparkle rainbows.
Sparkle rainbow unicorn witches. We're going to do facial masks now with unicorns on them. That's what we're going to do right now. Anyway, we love you guys so much. Follow Jim at thedivinehand.com. You can find his special at divinehand.com/special. You know where to find me. I've got tons of stuff, podcasts, YouTube videos, blog posts, all that stuff. You can go to theparlorwonders.com, look at that. And I'm also going to be making appearances. Next appearance is going to be Paganacon, the weekend of the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's in Minneapolis. And I hope to see you there. We'll be presenting, so if you're there, come by our workshop. All right, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week. I'll see you next week when I have Dr. Samuel Ness on. All right?